Okay, welcome. My name's John Leonetti. I am the author of Exiting Your Business, Protecting Your Wealth, a strategic guide for owners and their advisors. And we're here this afternoon. I've got a special guest with me. It's John Wobbleton. John, it's great to have you. We're going to talk about business owner exit planning. John Wobbleton is a CPA. He is accredited in business valuation, and he's also a certified business exit consultant. John, welcome.
Thank you, John. It's a pleasure to be here.
So, business owner exit planning. Tell me about your background first, John, in terms of your professional advisory career, and then we'll talk a little bit about how you got into exit planning for business owners.
I've been a CPA for about 25 years, been working in tax and valuation and audit and reviewed financial statements and that sort of thing, and I found myself gravitating towards working with business owners on the valuation side. Probably been certified as an ABV for about 5 years now, and the part of valuation that really interested me was working with business owners on contingency and long-term strategic planning.
What was it that brought you more towards focusing on exit planning for owners?
Anytime I talk with owners or I present before groups of owners, I have a story I tell. I call it my peanut story. Billy, I'll leave his last name out here, invented and patented the honey roasted peanut. His company was growing, he needed capital, so he went out quickly to the market, found a public company interested in buying his business, and quickly did a deal where they bought 80%, he kept 20%. And because Billy wasn't represented with the proper legal team, the proper advisors, there were some omissions in the document that allowed them to liquidate his 20% down to 12% in the first 2 years. So that company went on, got out of the snack food business, sold it to a private equity fund. That company is now worth about $400 million. So Billy's piece was worth roughly $80 million. So that's a legacy that he's lost. And you know, that's his financial security, what he would pass to his kids, all evaporated because he didn't have the proper representation. And for just a few $1,000s, Billy could have protected himself by having a strategic exit plan and the right representation at the table with him.
So if I understand your story of Billy correctly, Billy lost about $80 million in net worth because he wasn't prepared for the transaction and he didn't have the right advice. Is that correct?
That's exactly right.
So now you feel like if you can get to the business owners earlier in the process, a few years perhaps before the transaction, then you can help them both be prepared and educated as to what to expect, as well as bringing the right resources to help them execute on the transaction.
That's exactly right, John. Getting involved early on allows us to get to know the business, the owner, and once we establish his goals, we can work over this period of time to help make sure that he achieves these goals. If we can get involved 3 to 5 years ahead of time, we can help the owner maximize the value when he sells his business.
So John, what part of the exit planning process do you find the most rewarding?
I recently completed a business valuation for a family-owned moving and storage business. A publicly traded company had just made an unsolicited offer. He hadn't wanted to sell his business, hadn't planned to. So we did the value, and I think he was surprised at the value. It was actually much higher than he thought it was. And in the conversation when I'm delivering the report, he says, "This is money well spent. I've got information now to plan, and also I've been gifting stock to my son each year." He says, "I can go tell my son, look, this is what you're working for. This is what our company is worth." He thinks it will motivate the son, who he eventually plans to succeed him and take over the business.
So let me ask you this, John. If you had one piece of advice to give to business owners today, what would that be?
If I could tell owners anything, I would say know the value of your business and have a strategic plan.
So know the value of your business, have a plan, and I would imagine also contact you to get the right advice and the right partner to make sure that they don't make the same mistakes that Billy made and get left with peanuts, right?
Exactly.
John, this has been a great interview. I want to thank you again for your time.
Thank you, John.